Hello, the Gentleman Gamer here, and today I want to talk about a dev blog TCP put out a few days ago concerning the Character Bazaar and skill trading in EVE Online. Now I picked this wormhole to do this in. I think this is a very nice blue star wormhole. I'll keep this very nice looking sleeper site right here while we talk about this. Now it's very controversial. From what I understand, the actual forum thread for it is over 100 pages. I don't think that's an exaggeration. I'm pretty sure that's thread, not territory. And I was thinking about just jumping into the forum thread and reading the posts, but so many of them were just terrible to read. I decided to go a different route after about a couple minutes. I just started listening to podcasts. I listened to a few Podside, the Tinfoil Factory, the Wiggles show on Eve Radio, OpenCom show, and as well as the Lone Wolf. He's another Eve YouTuber. If you don't know about him, check him out. He made a pretty good video on this as well. And I think after reading some of the posts, all that I can stomach, and watching the videos and the podcast, I think I have a good idea of what people have against it and what people think are for it, and what I think about it personally. So before we jump into what the changes CCP wants to put into the system, because technically Eve does have a skill point buying system for the game, and it's through the Character Bazaar. Now what you do is when you want to buy a character, you go through the bazaar and people have their characters they don't want anymore up there, and you go through the skills they have and as much research as you can on his history, and then you buy them with in-game currency or ISK, and that way you can buy an extra character with 40 or 60 or 70 million more skill points than you currently have, or whatever, or just a different character, even less skill points. And the changes they want to put in are more. It's the same idea, same principle. Of course, you're trying to buy skill points, but it's much more granular. Pretty much the new system they want to put in involves players that are over 5 million skill points. They can buy a certain item that will extract the skill. Let's say they don't want they said mining barges 5 or something, or exhumers 5. They don't want it anymore. They buy this item, and then this item will extract those skill points from those selected skills. So you take those skill points out of those skills, and you loot that guy who loses those skills, and then he puts it on the market or trades it or contracts it to some other player, and then they can take this packet of skill points and put it into their character, essentially. And so pretty much, I know people are pretty concerned about this, but overall, for me, I don't think it's that big of a change. In principle, it's the same thing as buying a character. It's just broken up into little pieces. So I know some people are suggesting that it's pay to win. I don't think it's pay to win. I think a couple of reasons for that. First off, you can buy these items through the market with ISK. You don't have to buy it with real money. I think that's one of the biggest reasons I don't think it's pay to win, because you can buy them with ISK, you can grind up, and you can buy these skill packets if you so want. So I think it's a lot easier to buy these instead of trying to grind up billions of ISK to buy a character. So I think this is more obtainable to people than buying a whole new character. My second reason why I don't think it's pay to win is because skill points don't equal winning. You can have 100 million skill points, and you can fight someone who has 20 million skill points, and if you're what ship you're using, if it's a comparable ship, if you make a mistake, you're gonna die. There's just no way around it. EVE is a different game. It's not like Elder Scrolls Online or some other MMO where if you're a higher level, you just can't beat the people. If you go in PvP, you're gonna die. Right? EVE is not like that. If you're fighting someone with a comparable ship, they say if they're fighting a T3 Desi and another 3D Desi, and they're fighting each other, a lot of times it comes down to skill. Now, skill points do give you more versatility. Obviously, the higher skills you have, you have better fitting skills, or you have your lasers up higher. Obviously, gives you more versatility, what you can fit and how you fit. But overall, I think in Eve, you don't need higher skill points to beat somebody in a fight. So I think overall for the new system, I am in favor of it. Personally, I wouldn't use it. Personally, I don't like buying skill points if I can avoid it. I do like that Eve has a very long view of the game, and I really enjoy that progression as a character. I made decisions, at this point in my when I was playing the game. When I first started playing, I did mission running, I did mining, so I have a lot of the skills that are kind of revved up for like a battleship that can run level 4s. Or I even have like exhumers level to 4, I think. And I don't want to take those out and sell them off or anything. I would not like that. that would make me very unhappy if I had to do that. But for some people, they don't like the long game. They want to jump in. They want to find a ship they want to use, and they want to just get to it real fast, or as fast as they can. And there is a hump in Eve. I think for me, that hump came around 10 million skill points. I don't remember the exact number, but I remember there being a point where I really can't do a whole lot. I'm kind of constricted on what I can do, and I had to wait. Wait like a month or two, 3 months, 4 months, to jump into a ship I wanted to do, get enough skill points, and then actually like try different things. But I think for this, some players don't want to wait for that, and the players that don't want to wait, we lose in Eve. They go play different games where they don't have to wait a month or 2 months or 3 months or whatever, right, to do something they want to do in the game. I think with this change, we have a better chance of keeping those players around, and then what we have right now, because a few billion to buy a specific character is a lot of ISK. You do have to put down quite a bit of Plex. If you want to buy Plex and then buy ISK, it does cost some money. And so I think in general this system is going to be better for the game in general, even though I personally don't like the idea. And I don't have to like it, because I don't have to use it. I don't have to use it. I'm not going to go into a corporation who says you need to be certain skill points to begin with. I wouldn't join a corporation that would say you need to use these to get our next doctrine, or you can't be in the corp. I'll just leave corp, because it is not fun for me. The progression, the long game of Eve is the most fun for me, and the history of my character is very important to me as well. So those mining skills I barely use anymore. They're part of my character. I don't want to get rid of them. They're part of the history of my character and how I played before. So I'm not getting rid of them. No matter how much money they put out, I'm not getting rid of them. Now, with that being said, I do like the system in general, but there's a few things I think are probably going to be wrong with the system that maybe need to be addressed, but maybe not. Who knows? One of the things I thought about maybe is, a lot of times when I'm hunting a player down, and I check the born on date, how many days he's been in Eve, you get a rough estimate of his capabilities. Now, with this new system, a day one character could essentially have way more skill points than you think, right? So if you're jumping into a system, you see a guy that's 2 or 3 years old, 3 days old. Right now you go, okay, so he's probably not that good. A lot of times I don't even, usually find him in belts, trying to mine an adventure. I usually just tell them not to mine when someone comes to the local. I leave them alone. But right now, if the system comes into play, I really can't assume that anymore. So I don't know what seems to be should or could or should do for this, if it's going to be an issue or not. Because I'm not sure who's going to be a new player anymore. So I'm going to treat everyone the same and just shoot them, I guess. I don't know. Maybe a little asterisk next to their name. They used the skill packet or something. I don't know. And perhaps you will. I think another one of the cons. I think the Lone Wolf said this in his video that I kind of agree with. That a system like this, I think, will bring in more people that don't like the long game in Eve, and they might just be like, they'll play for 6 months, get the fun they had out of the game, and then leave. But I'm thinking that it'll still be positive at the end, even with that possibility, because I think before you wouldn't even have him for like those 3 or 4 months to begin with. So overall, that is an extra player for a certain amount of time we have, and just maybe, he likes the game. He gets bored of it at some point, and maybe something new comes out and he comes back. So I think even with those, I only have a few problems I have with the system. Maybe I'm just not seeing the whole picture. Maybe, but I think overall the system is a good change. I think anytime you bring a system that's out of client into client, it's much better for the game. It doesn't one less thing to break immersion, one less thing to make you go, look through like a third-party website. Just better off for the game in general to have as many things in client as possible. So that's it, guys. That's what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments on this whole system, if it's pay to win or not, or the pros and the cons. And let's leave in the comments, and I'll like to know what you think. So let me know. But other than that, guys, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, leave a like. If you like the content, of course, subscribe. And fly safe, and fly brave.